last time they played Valencia back in January. It was a 7-1 demolition, and yet another demolition here. As you can see, they absolutely dominated pretty much everything. Valencia definitely will want to forget this game as they make the short trip back home. Let's welcome in our Luis Garcia as well, who joins us for this one. Luis, you've been watching the game pretty closely. We spoke about Hansi Flick and the strong words that he had about the team before the international break when they suffered that not quite shock draw against Rayo Vallecano. This is a big performance, a big win for them. How pleased would he be?
Yeah, exactly. And it was needed for Barcelona, something like this. And everything from the very beginning looked like it wasn't going to be a good one. We were trying to get the results, and we were quite tight to 3-1. Let's see what the Valencia can bring. It's not a big stadium, it's the smaller one. Rafinha is not going to be there. He's been late. Lamine Yamal was injured. A lot of things happening around. But today, I think Barcelona proved that the depth in the squad is working, that the messages that Hansi Flick has been sending to all the players, I think they are kind of getting into the system of all the players. Today, Fermin Lopez was outstanding, fantastic. The player who was replaced in the first game of the season at halftime, didn't play against Levante in the second one, and in the third one only had 30 minutes. So you are sending those kind of messages. The one who is not delivering, the one who is not giving everything when I ask, is going to be replaced by another player who is going to try to get the opportunity. Today, you could see the speed on the ball, the aggressiveness going forward, ambitious after scoring 3-4 goals. They wanted more. The players who were coming into the second half there to try to refresh legs and give some rest. They also giving something extra to the team. So I think that today it was overall a fantastic performance from Barcelona. From the back, very solid with Eric Garcia and Cubarsí not giving any chance to Hugo Duro or Danjuma. And in the middle of the park with with Casado and Pedri, that they did a great job just handling the tempo of the game. And of course, the player we were talking, Fermin Lopez, Ferran Torres, even Rashford, I think that today gave something extra to the Barcelona, that 1v1, the speed and the power that he can provide. So fantastic performance, and time to next in the Champions League.
He received the captain's armband when he came on the field, and I think that's a responsibility that Rafinha now holds dear to his heart and close to his heart. And you got to remember how difficult it was for Rafinha to begin with at Barcelona, and you got to remember how close he was to leaving Barcelona, and how most people were thinking, bring in Nico Williams. Mm-hmm. And somehow Rafinha has worked his way to the very top of this club to where he is the club captain. But you cannot have a club captain being late. That's a message sent by Hansi Flick, and as I said before, message received by Rafinha. He took it upon himself to then show up and then answer the call whenever he was given an opportunity. He came on in the second half. The team became better with Rafinha on the field. No surprise there. He scores a couple of goals. Barcelona were outstanding in the second half, and in the end, it was a backside whooping. Barcelona far better than Valencia, and that's not saying a lot because Valencia, on the other side of the conversation, I know this is not a Valencia conversation, but just as a side note, good Lord, they're terrible. Good Lord, they did not even compete today.
Yeah.
They have a lot of work to do.
Stevie, you've had to make tough calls as managers as well. When you look at the Rafinha situation, this is exactly what you'd want of a player of his caliber, and considering he's a leader on this team.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That's the kind of response you want from the player. But for the manager or the coach, sometimes things fall in your lap that help you big time. You know, the fact that Koundé had already been given the same treatment previously puts Rafinha in a position where everybody's looking at the manager. What's he going to do with the captain? Is he going to do the same? Plus, it's against Valencia. It's against a team you know you're going to win the game. So for Hansi Flick, this is a perfect situation. Just in case there was anybody in any doubt who was in charge, this is a perfect time for him to go, you're late, Koundé was late, same treatment, nobody gets treated any differently, you're sitting on the bench. And then everybody just, if they didn't know it, they know who's in charge.
And to your point, Stevie, to further even what you're saying, is the fact that ahead of the international break, I think Hansi Flick was trying to make the larger point to this team that, hey, I know we did some things last year, but in order for us to be able to repeat and achieve the things that we think we want to achieve and the things we're capable of achieving, we got to clean some things up. And part of that is our attitude within the locker room. And he spoke about the ego and how the ego kills locker rooms. I think this, to your point, Stevie, fell in the lap of Hansi Flick, and because he can now utilize it as a tool, as a tool where he makes the point that no one is above what we're trying to do, regardless of who you are. But give credit to the player.
Yeah.
Because you could sulk, you can get angry, you can turn your back on the coach, you can get to the side and create your own group and start sort of breaking the group apart. Instead, Rafinha comes on and says, all right, hey, okay, all right, mala mia. Let me do my job on the field and continue to lead this team.
Luis, we know that Barcelona now turn their attention to the Champions League. They have Newcastle. They eventually will also have PSG, which we could say is the team to beat in the Champions League, considering they're the defending champions. Right before this game against Newcastle, though, this is exactly the kind of statement win they would want before that game.
Yeah, exactly. And we don't know if Lamine Yamal is going to be ready to be at that game. And it's something important because those kind of games, you want the best players on the field. But definitely having at this total overall fantastic performance give you so much confidence. Not only to arrive there at Newcastle, there is not going to be an easy game. You know, the crowd, the atmosphere that they create and the way that they are playing at the moment is important and is strong. But this Barcelona side is ready for everything, and it proves that you rotate players, you change players, and the system continue working, the intensity continue there. And again, with these kind of messages that Hansi Flick is implementing into the team, everyone who is involved is going to give 120%. So I think the Barcelona is ready to challenge again for this Champions League.
As Manchester City definitely were the better team in this one, as you can see by the stats, a 3-0 win for the home team. Let's welcome in our Frank Leboeuf now. Frank, I'm going to start with you on this one. Where do you want to start with this?
I want to start about, because everybody's going to say, Erling Haaland was a man of the match and he was exceptional. That's true. But for me, there is a game changer in that team, and that's Doku today. Doku today gave 2 assists, and on the first goal, he took on 2 players, and it was exceptional in the first half, especially where you could feel that every time he got the ball, he was going forward vertically, trying to take on players and trying to make the difference with his pace, with his skills, and it's how he unbalanced Manchester United. Manchester United started very well the game. The first 10 minutes, they were better than City, and then entered Doku. And for me, it was a game changer. That's a good game for Manchester City. They had to win that game. It became easier because I think Manchester United, even if they had good times, they made so many mistakes in the third goal. I mean, guys were laughing about it. That's really a joke. But it was good for City to make a statement today, to show that they are still fighting for a better situation, better position in the table.
Yeah, big statement there from Manchester City doing what they needed to do. And I appreciate Frank trying to make it about Doku, but surely we have to talk about the big man, Erling Haaland. It was interesting, too, because after the game, Pep Guardiola
said... So you don't care about what I say?
We care about what you say, but we want to talk about the big man up front.
Kind of.
He just scored an absolute... How many goals did he score on international duty recently for Norway? And now he's back scoring for Manchester City, something that he told me he wanted to do again this season. And Pep Guardiola, interestingly, after the game said, Stevie, that he feels like the way he's going right now, he looks in better form than he was in the season when they won the treble.
It's a bit of a stretch, isn't it?
Whoa there, Nelly.
That's a bit of a stretch.
Pep Guardiola said it.
As good as he was, I'm not quite sure I'd go that way. He wasn't saying that when he hit the post, when he should have scored. Listen, with Man City having Erling Haaland up top, they're always going to have a chance to win games. Because this guy, when he gets opportunities, 9 times out of 10, the ball's in the back of the net. It's actually when he doesn't score when he's through that you're actually scratching your head thinking, how did he miss? And he's going to be so important because this Man City side, as easy as it was today, weren't particularly great in my opinion. I mean, the middle of the park, other than Foden, I thought Reinders and I thought Rodri, the amount of times, particularly in the first half, they gave the ball away was... I've never seen Rodri giving the ball away so much. And in the second half, it was just too easy. So It's a great win. I mean, you win a derby 3-0, you should be cock a hoop. But if you're Pep, you can still see there's a lot of things to do.
You should be what? You should be what you just said?
Cock-a-hoop.
All right.
Cock-a-who?
Cock a hoop.
Oh, cock-a-hoop.
Cock a hoop.
Right.
Yeah.
Ah, I learn something every day.
But if you're Pep, you can still see there's a lot of things you still have to sort out. Now, one of them you've sorted with Donnarumma. He was called upon once and he made a fantastic save. They maybe could have changed the game. Probably not, because it was that easy. But I'm saying that about City, but that just tells you how bad Man United are, by the way. Because the second half, they were just a shambles. I mean, a complete shambles. No shape, no desire, no... I mean, this is the Manchester derby. And there was just a lack of heart, to be quite frank. People were running around, but there was no togetherness. They never got amongst each other and encouraged each other to chase and close people down and win challenges. It was just way too easy for Manchester City. So, listen, yeah, City wins pretty comfortably. They got a lot of work to do. Manchester United, on the other hand, I don't know how things change.
I'll get to Manchester United in a second, but let me just go back to Erling Haaland. We were talking about yesterday, previewing this match, which seemingly we have done over the last 5 days.
You said.
And in previewing the match, we talk about the importance of Erling Haaland when he's calling out himself and his teammates and saying, hey, we got to get our backsides going.
Yeah.
And I was saying then, all right, yeah, it's important for the team to do so, but it's important for you to do it as well and carry the momentum from the midweek in scoring the bunch of goals that he did against Moldova. Well, let's go ahead and do that against Manchester United, because your team actually needs you to be that productive. And there I say, while I appreciate the goal scored by Erling Haaland, I actually think that his best contribution, or most significant contribution, was in the beginning of the second half, where he made 4 clearances in a row in his own box. Now, you may say, well, that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. Well, I think it's actually important, because it does set a certain bar for everybody else. Hey, listen, I'm supposed to be up there scoring goals, but here I am, and the job requires that I'm going to clear the ball, that I'm going to defend. This is not something I do naturally. This is not something that I like doing, but this is what the game calls for right now. And the game rewarded Erling Haaland, because then minutes later, he's scoring a goal himself, and then goes on to score a second goal. Erling Haaland today, in the second half in particular, gave Pep Guardiola, or gave Manchester City, more importantly, a clear idea as to what you need to do with him when he plays up top and he is in this sort of mood. Just play the ball in behind. Let him run. You see this guy running with the intent with which he runs and how he's able to manhandle defenders while he's running towards goal and breaking through in a position where he's about to score. And it's beyond me how they don't do this more often. Now, to Stevie's point, it's a whole lot easier to do this against Manchester United.
Yeah.
Just a little.
And it's hard for me to understand how a manager gets to this level. We're talking about Manchester United, the Premier League, and I'm talking specifically about Ruben Amorim. And you're game planning for this match, and you think, sitting with your assistant coaches in a room, and you say, you know what I think we're going to do? In an area of the field where Manchester City tried to be dominant, which is the midfield, and I think we all would know that. It's basic knowledge when you're about to play Manchester City. They want to dominate possession in this area, in the middle third. They put numbers around the ball because they want to dominate the possession. Manchester United, in their game plan, by structure, they have Bruno Fernandes, who doesn't defend all that much, and Manuel Ugarte. So just in the structure of the team already, if you're Manchester United, you're already down 2v4, 2v5 in the midfield all the time. Just a built-in mismatch. The other thing that I don't understand from Manchester United's perspective, and Ruben Amorim, again, if you're game planning, this is not even about execution, game plan. You see Kusanov over there on the right-hand side for Manchester City, and you see O'Reilly over there on the left-hand side, and you go, we got to get after these guys. We have got to get after these guys. Offensively, we got to get after these guys because these are mismatches. And defensively, why don't you just let Kusanov have the ball? Why don't you just shift it over and say, that guy cannot beat us. Give him the ball. That guy has issues. He cannot complete a pass even if we leave him by himself. Let him make the game for Manchester City. And that didn't happen. So Ruben Amorim, no idea what and I don't think your team does either.
Well, you don't have any idea what Ruben Amorim is doing. Well, let's have a listen, or a look rather, at what he had to say after the match. And in true Ruben Amorim form, he was quite defiant. He said, look, I won't change my philosophy. If they, the United hierarchy, want it changed, you're going to have to change the man. I am not going to change my philosophy. I will play my way until I want to change.
Has he been talking to Espírito Santo?
Well, they both speak the same language.
He's going to need the Espírito Santo.
Yeah. I mean,
but once again, defiant. He says, you're going to have to change me because I'm not changing my philosophy. End of story.
Well, they need to change him then. There's no point in waiting. He's basically saying, the next time we step on the field, this is what we're dishing up again. Because I'm not changing anything. I mean, and there's nobody in the United team that's going to change anything either. All the things that you were talking about, Ali, with Haaland, they don't have candidates like that.
Yeah.
It's kind of, it looks a little bit like self-preservation, to be honest, because there's certainly no team. They're not running around looking after each other. They're not covering for each other. They're pointing the finger. You got your captain who gave Dorgu the coldest stare during this game because he gave him a ball that he didn't like. That one situation there tells you exactly what's up in Manchester United.
Frank, what do you make of what Ruben Amorim had to say? Do you feel like he's just digging his way out sooner than we think?
Yes, that must be a Portuguese thing, you know, when to know exactly what to say to make sure that you're going to be kicked out. You know? Somebody did it just before him at Nottingham. But yeah, that's insane because I don't even know his philosophy. What has been his philosophy since he signed for Manchester United? I mean, the guy did so well in Portugal, and he arrived there, and the first season was, well, you know, I didn't pick the team, so we're going to wait next season. And we just started the season and say, well, I'm not going to change anything. So what is your philosophy? Doing nothing? Well, that's not a philosophy. That's being lazy. So you have to try to do something. I mean, today, he put Sesko at front. I didn't see any cross. Yeah, maybe the big guy wasn't at his best, but at least try to use him. Ask Mazraoui and Dorgu to try to cross the ball to maybe for the big guy to get the ball with the header. We didn't see one good cross. There was one cross from Boehme, and Donnarumma made a great save, but for Sesko, nothing. So I don't know what the philosophy is because I don't know what the tactic is. And the philosophy is maybe a spirit. We all know that there isn't any spirit. It's individuals plus individual, but not a team spirit. So I don't understand what he meant.
Ale, I did want to go to you on Sesko because, of course, that's your area of the pitch. Or do you kind of take into account what Frank just said? Look, he wasn't even getting any help either.
Yeah. I didn't even know he was on the field, to be honest with you. I mean, he's out there. He kind of running around, but not really having any sort of impact. And while I agree that he did not get service, I would also say that the times in which there was hold-up play required from Sesko, he didn't exactly prove to be the strongest guy. It's almost as if like, I'm not up for this fight. And Manchester United, in order to get results, they're going to have to win the fight every once in a while because they're not going to outplay teams. They just don't have it in them. And so you're trying to figure out how this team goes about getting results, and well, they're going to have to win a fight. Do they have fighters on the field? To the point that you just mentioned there, Bruno Fernandes. Look, I have no affiliation with Manchester United, nor do I have an affiliation with Dorgu, nor do I care whether Dorgu plays or not. But the moment that he gave that look, I'm watching the game, and as a former professional, I was yelling at Bruno Fernandes. Yeah. Because you know exactly where that's coming from and that he does it to the young guy. But he wouldn't do it to Maguire. Right? So he picks and chooses who is the guy that I'm going to get after. Because you know that there's not going to be a reaction from Dorgu. That is not the example that you need from a captain. As for the philosophy, this whole idea of managers saying that they have a philosophy, I tell you a philosophy that everybody understands. Winning. Winning. In the end, when it comes down to it, when you get to the nitty-gritty, to the very smallest detail, the thing that keeps the job for managers is winning. And it's your sole responsibility is to win. When you get at the professional level, this is not about teaching the game anymore. This is not about this formation or that formation. No, no, no. You're there to put your team in the best position to win. And if that means that you have to adjust, that you have to find flexibility, that you have to be willing to make changes, that you have to be able to process information while the game is going on in front of you and say to your team, give the ball to Kusanov because he cannot play, and you're unable to do that, it tells me that your philosophy, first of all, whatever it is, doesn't work. And second, you do not know how to adjust. And that's a limitation that you should not have from a manager at this level.
All right, well, Frank Leboeuf is still with us, but Stevie, of course, I have to come to you first on this one. I know you were on double duty watching this game on our digital, and even you had to admit you were not impressed with what you saw from your boys.
No, there was nothing to be impressed about whatsoever. Yes, we all understand that when teams put 11 men behind the ball and there's no space, well, guess what? You've got to break it down. You know, that is not an excuse. There's a reason that they're putting 11 behind the ball. It's because they're not good enough to come and play.
Yeah.
And it's your responsibility to break it down. So you can't use, well, they put men behind the ball as an excuse. And unfortunately, there's one guy that Liverpool spent a lot of money on this summer who really was brought in for this type of situation, Mr. Wirtz. I mean, this was the perfect scenario for him to get on the ball in the final third and shows those little passes, those little movements, those little connections, little 1-2s, all the things that he did in the Bundesliga the last couple of years. This was set up for him to show what he's made of.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, he didn't turn up again. And that has to be a concern. But the one thing I do want to say, though, the goal itself, right? Now, it is fortunate, but Hannibal has let down his Burnley team because almost to a man, they defended for their lives. They had a great shape. They backed each other up. They made a challenge when it was needed, to the point that Dubravka only had one real save to make from a Szoboszlai shot from 25 yards. And Hannibal comes on, and when you're a kid and you're told to keep your eye on the ball and stay strong and get yourself as big as you can without sticking your arms out, he didn't do that. He took the coward's way out, he spun round, turned away from it, and when you do that, your arms automatically come up. So Hannibal has let his team down here. Yes, it's lucky that it hits his arm, but it's actually not. Hannibal's actually put himself in a position where his team could lose a penalty, and they did, and they've certainly lost a point, but in the end, they lost 3.
Frank, what about you? Of course, Liverpool got the job done in the end, but are you just as unimpressed as Stevie was with the Reds?
Yeah, yes. I'm wondering if they can keep like that, being so lucky and win like they won the 4 games in the last 10 minutes every time. And but I mean, I wouldn't be how would you say that hard on Liverpool in a way that I found some players like Gravenberch very interesting. I loved what he did during the game and the way he was playing. I think yeah, you have to congratulate Burnley and the way they played and they defended, and they were unfortunate with that penalty. Now we know forward players, and maybe Ali can witness that, when they are in the last third, they have the tendency to avoid being hit in the head, you know, because they are mostly handsome people and like us defenders, and we are ready to face the ball. They like to turn their face to avoid that, and it's what happened to Hannibal Mejbri, where the reflex is to avoid being hit in the head. It's a big mistake. It's a real big mistake, but it's a bad reflex from somebody who is not used to be in that position, in fact. But you know what? The luck of the winners exists. And when you keep on winning every time, like Szoboszlai against Arsenal, scoring a late goal, like today, the penalty with Salah, it says something about a team. And instead of being too critical, I want to say that it may be a way to win the league, to maybe sometimes suffer, not being good, but get the 3 points.
Ale, with the money that Liverpool have spent this summer, the names on that pitch, the quality that you expect, especially looking at Mo Salah, who was pretty quiet for most of the game, only that one shot, which was the penalty, and I believe he had lost possession about 15 times. Any concerns about the big man there?
Well, I was about to say that, and while Stevie is bringing up his frustrations with Florian Wirtz and that you expect in this sort of matches for him to be a difference maker, the point I was going to bring up is that he wasn't the only one. You think about how slow and predictable the possession of Liverpool was, how deliberate it was, especially in the first half. Second half was slightly better. And I think about a guy like Mo Salah, and I'm not exaggerating when I say that he, at least 5 or 6 times, when he got himself in a position to get a ball across or find a final pass, he hit the ball either straight to the goalkeeper or straight out of bounds. Now, my point would be, and my question really to Stevie, who would be the source of knowledge on this, is Mo Salah right now at this point in his career, is he just untouchable at Liverpool? Can he not be brought out of the game? Because based upon what we saw today, and I'm saying this knowing full well that he scored the penalty and is the game winner and so on and so forth. But on the balance of the performance, we can talk about Florian Wirtz and how frustrating he might have been today. Mo Salah was just as frustrating, if not more.
Right now, the answer to that question is yes.
He's untouchable.
Well, right now, yes. I mean, you know, if you need a goal to win the game, and for the past 8 years, the one guy who has come up with it time after time after time,
Including today.
Including today. and this is not the first time.
But without needing the penalty.
This is not the first time Mo Salah has played like this. Mo Salah, in many games, is kind of peripheral for a lot of it. But then you go on your newspaper or your text or whatever it is, and it's 1-0, and guess who scored the goal? So, to answer your question, Ali, right now, he is. I mean, as a Liverpool fan, right now, if somebody said to me, who do you want to take that penalty? I'm going straight to Mo Salah. So, yeah, right now, yes.
Now, the reason I bring up the question is because part of our conversation with all the signings that you just mentioned, there's going to be some rotation. There's going to be some decisions to be made on. So how long do you go with Florian Wirtz playing below the standard of expectation? Or how long do you go with Mo Salah hitting the ball straight out of bounds? And do those minutes become diminished if indeed there's an opportunity to make changes? I understand where you're coming from with Mo Salah, that right now he's untouchable. But I do think that the performance, not only of Salah and Wirtz, just overall in the attacking third, has to elevate and has to come up a level or two when it comes to Liverpool. We're expecting a whole lot from this team, but I think they should expect a whole lot more out of themselves. They were fortunate to win this game. They did not create enough, regardless of what Mo Salah did or didn't do, Wirtz did or didn't do. They just didn't create enough. Dubravka is not coming up with saves left and right. That is the part that I would be concerned. Now, overall, I would say if indeed you want to be positive about this, we ain't playing great, but we're perfect.
Yeah.
At some point, this team is going to get it right. And when they get themselves right, then it's a different conversation.
Frank, what do you make of what the boys were saying about Mo Salah and him being untouchable at Liverpool, but should we equally have as many concerns about him?
I mean, it's always been like that, and Stevie mentioned that. You know, I never seen Mo Salah being like for 10 months consistent. But when he's on the field and he's on fire, he's unstoppable, and it's why he's been named one of the most fantastic players in the world, because his consistency is to see how many goals he scored and how much a game changer he has been. That's that. And last year, we were wondering, should he stay? Should he go? Because maybe it won't be the same next season. That's always a wonder. But I think Arne Slot want to keep on putting him on because he knows that at a certain point he's going to wake up. And he's going to be absolutely fantastic. It's what I wish for Liverpool. It's what I wish for Mo Salah. But it's true that if he carries on like that for let's say 4 or 5 other games, the question will come. Because as Ali said, you have players coming. Isaac is going to start playing. The question will be for Gakpo, Ekitike, where they're going to play. Wirtz, if he's not good like he is right now. That's going to be a big question marks for Arne Slot. But right now, you have to trust. I think he had a new contract, big money. He's the legend of Liverpool. He has to stay. It's impossible to move him out. But if he carries on like that, yes, of course, that's going to be a possibility.
All right, well, earlier today in La Liga, we saw Barcelona absolutely thrash Valencia by 6-0. This was without Lamine Yamal and no Rafinha in the starting 11. One of those who benefited from those absences was Marcus Rashford, and he got to speak to our Gemma Soler after the game.
Yes, with Marcus Rashford being extremely active in Barcelona's attack today, a comprehensive win. I guess you needed this kind of game.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's always fun to play in a game with lots of goals. But yeah, I think it's important to have a good performance and most importantly have the 3 points. And now we recover and go again in the next game.
We've witnessed you having a good communication, connection, of course with Ferran, with the assist, but also with Marc Asado, with Fermin. How would you define your level of adaptation to this team, to La Liga, the new competition and everything?
I think has been good, has been smooth, but for sure in the future will of course improve. So I'm looking forward to this, and my focus is on the pitch to match well with the team and to improve my individual performance.
Coach Hansi Flick wasn't very happy after the last game at Rayo. He talked about egos, thinking about being a team. How do you think the team got this message and it was useful in a game like today?
Yeah, I think he says these words for a reaction from the team, and today is perfect reaction. But not only today, we have to show this now going forward and continue to prove to the coach that we're a team that wants to win and wants to be successful.
And how exciting is for you going back to England, to the north, near home, Newcastle? I guess you'll have a lot of work talking to your teammates about the dangers of St James's Park.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough game, but hopefully we will be able to win and start the Champions League off well.
Marcus Rashford there speaking to our Gemma Soler, and our Gemma is joining us right now. We can finally talk to you, Gemma, about that absolute demolition, something we've seen Barcelona do before against Valencia. But the important thing is Hansi Flick needed a big reaction from his boys after the draw with Rayo Vallecano, and he got it.
Yeah, Alexis, he got it. It's just what he was asking for. A team being focused from minute number 1 is what they did. It was a difficult game at the beginning with the solid 5 in the back of Valencia, so they needed to create chaos in that well-defended area of the chess, and they did that. They were very focused. They managed not to get any attack from Valencia until minute 40, and then after the first goal, this team has a lot of power. Even though there was no Lamine Yamal, no Lewandowski, no Rafinha from the start, but they create chances and the goals will come. So Hansi Flick was way more happy after the game, very much relaxed in the second half, and this is what he is looking for. And about playing in this small, tiny stadium, the truth is that it's been quite comfortable for the players. The fans are really close. It's only 6,000, but it's been a festive day. And I think the kind of win that Barcelona needed after 2 wins and a draw, but especially some bittersweet feelings at the beginning of La Liga.
Well, Gemma, we've been talking about the stadium and the fact that Barcelona had to play at this Stade Johan Cruyff. We're still wondering when they're going to play at the Camp Nou. You asked Marcus about that Champions League game. Of course, they're away for that one, but then they have to welcome PSG in October to home. Where will that home be? Will it finally be at the Camp Nou? What's the latest?
So, not official yet, but almost for sure the next Liga game against Getafe, it's going to be played again in this tiny stadium. They are really working on having the Camp Nou ready. It's actually ready, but doesn't have the security permits. They are working a lot alongside the major town, the fire department of Barcelona to get that permit. In case this doesn't arrive, they will play at the Olympic Stadium that today it was busy with a concert of Post Malone. So this is the plan. Hopefully, that PSG game, it will be played in the Camp Nou. Otherwise, it would be in the Olympic Stadium. But that's the plan that Barcelona has. And Joan Laporta has the fingers crossed thinking on that permit, of course.
Well, I'll tell you who's so mad he couldn't be there for that concert of Post Malone. Stevie Nicol, he's a huge Post Malone fan, aren't you? Absolutely gutted. Would you have put cowboy boots on? Because he's doing country now. And you had?
Yeah.
All right. Well, Gemma missed out on that concert, but she wasn't missing out on the game today. Gemma Soler, thank you so much. Mil gracias. We will see you again soon.
Gracias.
All right.
Ciao.
Well, there'll be plenty more La Liga coming your way on our networks. This is the one that's still about 2 weeks away. We're counting down for it, though. Atletico de Madrid against Real Madrid in the Madrid derby. That's September 27th, early morning. But please join us on ESPN+. All right, so PSG dominating that one, getting the 2-0 win. And Frank, was that as perfect as you can get from your boys?
I wouldn't say that because the first half, Lens had many chances to score, and the problem they got three other players injured tonight with Lee, Beraldo, and forgot the other one, Kvaratskhelia, which I think is the most important player injured. Is being kicked in the shin, and I don't know if he's going to be ready to play for the Champions League against Atalanta. And they already have Doué and Dembele out, so the list is getting a little bit too long. But second half, nothing much to say. Mendes came on, Neves came on, and Fabian Ruiz also came on, and you could feel that they were very comfortable, and Lens didn't exist anymore, and they could have scored even more goals. But yeah, in terms of offensively, the confidence is there. There are some question marks. I don't know if Marquinhos is going to play midweek, but yeah, there is nothing much Paris Saint-Germain should be worried about. But they had some alerts today. Lens did the job.
All right, well, if you couldn't tell by Frank's background, he still has a nice affiliation with his former club, Chelsea. And Frank, because we have you on the show today, we have to ask you about the fact that Brentford just snatched in the dying embers of the game, 3 points away from Chelsea, 2-2 draw. What did you think of it?
Well, it's a real disappointment. I mean, Chelsea should have won that game. Even if I was happy to see Alessandro Garnacho playing his first minutes with the club and doing well, I think, on the Caicedo goal. I mean, Alessandro, just look what's going on behind you. You know, on the second goal of Brentford, man, you are sleeping. Yeah, that's impossible to do that. You're on your own. You're with a guy behind you. You don't even see the guy. You don't even know that the guy is behind you. So yeah, wake up, man, because people are going to see that you're not aware of that. So offensively, he was good. He put the pace into the game. He tried to take on players to make the difference. But you have a job. The job is not only to defend. It's also when you come back and you try to defend, to just be aware of what's going on around you. And he didn't. And maybe Sanchez should have done something else, getting out on the big throw-in. But Alessandro, just look at the back, and you can deal with that. So I was disappointed by the performance. Well, with the result, the performance, I thought they had very good time. They did some very good movements together, and I was quite happy with the team spirit as well. But yet, little mistakes, maybe too young still. But yeah, sad result.
Aw, I don't like to see an upset Frank. But we're going to get a happy Frank soon enough, because we love to have a lot more fun over on Extra Time. Don't look at Natum's face. We have a lot more fun at that. Alan Moreno will be on, as well as Stevie Nicol and Frank. They'll be answering your question. And something tells me there's going to be a lot of Manchester United questions. All right, well, here's a look at what went on in the Serie A today after Juventus and Inter treated us to quite the Classico yesterday. Here's exactly what went on. Torino with a 1-0 win over Roma, and Milan just also getting a narrow win over Bologna. It's Sunday Fun Day and extra time.
You've been in quite a mood today.
Hey,
I've been in quite a mood.
Yeah.
Why are you smiling? You got battered again today.
You know,
Oh, my days. I can't just smile.
no. You know what it is? It's like she's overcompensating.
that's
It's like I'm happy. Nothing happened.
I'm happy. Nothing happened.
I'm good.
I didn't notice a certain derby that happened today. Guys, in all honesty, just to get it out of the way, I did not expect to beat Manchester City. Even not an on-par Manchester City, let's be honest.
Right, but did you at least expect your team to compete?
I did expect them to compete, but time and time again, they proved that we can't. But someone who always competes is Frank Leboeuf. He's also joining us as well, and Frank always has my best interest at heart too. So
the big smile and the good mood, when your team has been, badly beaten, it's called the before depression. That's what it is,
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, it hasn't set in just yet.
Yeah.
It will sit in tonight when I cry myself to sleep, as I do every weekend when Man United play. But let's get into
Alexis, can I say just one thing? I just want to say hi because I saw Charlotte beating the Inter Miami, and my friend Zoran Neta, the sporting director, a good friend of mine, must be thrilled today. So I just want to say hi and congratulations to him because I think he watches us. So.
Oh, wow.
I'm
Congratulations.
sure
Zoran.
he's watching us right now, Frank.
Oh, love that. Friends in high places.
Sure.
Right, let's get into the questions because we got a couple about Manchester United, as I said. Anders wants to know, will Amorim being stubborn and sticking with his system end up ultimately leading to his downfall and eventual sacking? Or will he end up getting the time needed to find the players he wants for his system? Forget about it.
But he had the time to find. But he had the time to find his player. He had last summer. The summer was that, last season, okay. But this summer, he had many times to find the players that he needed for his system. But what is his system? We talked about during the show. The philosophy, the system, we don't see anything coming up. So, bye-bye, I think, very soon.
One of the most overplayed things and really talked about regarding Ruben Amorim is the system and the philosophy. You watch this team play, here's what I would say. You have no idea what they're trying to do.
Yeah.
Right? And so you can grab your system. You can and stick to that if you so desire. But at least have a concept as to what the team is supposed to be doing on the field. You watch Manchester United play and you don't know what they're trying to do. More importantly, they don't know what they're trying to do. And it's not just me sort of sticking it to Manchester United or somehow being overcritical of Manchester United. Just watch Spurs under Thomas Frank, who has had less time, and watch what they're trying to do. And it looks as if this guy has been working with this team forever. You know what they're trying to do. And it's not just about the system. No. You have to put together a group of players that you have available. You have to put it in position to be successful. That's what your system should be. Put your players in the best position that gives them the best chance to be successful. That's the system. That's the only system that works. Don't give me this nonsense. We got to play with the back three and the wingers and the this and the that, and we do this and the inverted guy and the other inverted guy and the underneath guy. This is all nonsense. This game has been playing for years upon years upon years. And this whole idea that you're married to a system is nonsense and will get Ruben Amorim fired sooner rather than later.
That's what Stevie said.
He gone.
He gone. All right. Another question now. Do any of you see a way back for Amorim? If not, does he make it to Christmas as a United coach?
Oh,
Stevie.
I don't know whether I've done this before.
Yeah.
We're just going to use that for any more Amorim questions. It's a big old...
No, if we go back to the show, something that Steve is saying, nya, nya, nya.
Nya, nya, nya.
What?
What is it? Nya,
I don't
nya,
even
nya.
know. I don't even
I remember
I've
it.
no idea where it came from.
Oh, so hold on. This is not something that is regularly used. That was in the moment.
It's on the spot.
The best that you could come up with was nya, nya, nya.
Some things just come out.
Some things just come
I
out.
don't even know they're coming.
Nya, nya, nya.
Oh, don't we know that? Well, there's the answer. Next question now. Now that Bradley and Frimpong are available, is it time for Arne Slot to bench Wirtz and revert to the tested trio of Gravenberch, Szoboszlai and McAllister? Clearly, they look better without Wirtz. Stevie?
I'm very tempted to say yes.
Oh. Yeah, you're not the biggest fan of Wirtz at the moment.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't
You're not.
go that far. I mean, he's a great player, but he's not doing what he's supposed to do right now. That's a better way of putting it. I mean, it's a great problem to have if you're on the slot, but it's also a difficult problem as well because you've got to do it. You've got to be clever the way you do it. You know, you can't just walk up to Wirtz and go, by the way, you're not playing tomorrow. You know, you have to, depending on what kind of character Wirtz is, you maybe have a chat with him, you talk about, it's not quite gelling yet, so let's just give it a break and then we'll get you back in and just you got to figure a way out of making it not just you're bringing a sledgehammer and you're going like that, right, you're out. You know what I mean?
Nya, nya, nya.
Like a sledgehammer. Florian, come here. Smash right in the head.
No, that's when you do that.
Yeah, so, and Szoboszlai has to play.
Yeah.
I mean, he deserves to be playing. And so, I guess the answer would be right now, yes, to the
Frank?
question.
No, I think people should be patient. I know we live in a dictator of emergency, let's say, but you know, during the show, Stevie mentioned Rafinha and his first year with Barcelona, and how important he became, and he is right now for the club. He's even the skipper of the club of this team. So Fabian Wirtz has been under pressure because of the. So yeah. He's not doing well. He played 5 games for Liverpool. If you had the Community Shield game, and he hasn't been performing that he has been before with Bayer Leverkusen. But give him a little bit of time. Today I saw a little bit of what I saw last year in one move when he tried to take on players and he had a shot. So it's going to come up. He didn't lose everything. He has to adapt to a new country, a new system, a new level, a fame. So it's going to take a little while. So saying, no, I shouldn't play, bye-bye. Well, you want to finish him after paying 130 million? No, you have to be patient a little bit, I think.
See, Frank just got philosophical.
I love, because Frank feels a lot.
The dictator of emergency.
Of emergency.
What? Who?
Ale, what do you think then? Stevie thinking with his head, Frank thinking with his heart?
Not yet. Not yet. But you do have to figure out what his role is. I don't think that he's a guy that you trap in the midfield and have. He needs to have some freedom. And so if I'm looking for somebody to sacrifice or to be sacrificed, I'm probably looking at Cody Gakpo and saying, that's a position that I think Florian Wirtz would be more successful, rather than having Florian Wirtz drop into the midfield, where he actually has the freedom to work on the left-hand side, but also talk to the inside and come from an area in which it's not crowded to begin with, and then he can feel the game a little bit better. The problem is that if you look at consistent performers so far from Liverpool this season, Cody Gakpo would be among those players. So, to Stevie's point, it's not an easy decision, but I think in Florian Wirtz, I agree with Frank in that let him go a little bit longer.
The biggest thing in Arne Slot's favour is that they're winning.
Yeah.
Whilst they keep winning, he can get away with just try to hold off so that Wirtz can get through this period and get to the real Florian Wirtz. So if they continue to win, then I think you can continue to play him.
All right. Next question now, because we've got 2 editions of Start Bench Drop. Strap in, boys. All right, Start Bench Drop. Current editions of the Manchester Derby, North London Derby, and the Merseyside Derby.
Go on, Stevie.
Well, right now, the Manchester Derby isn't particularly exciting, is
Yeah,
it? So I'd have to drop the Manchester Derby.
that's fair.
I think I benched the London Derby. And right now, I think the Merseyside Derby would be the best one to watch.
Yeah, no matter how mismatched Everton and Liverpool are, Everton always bring a little something
always that
in the
edge.
Merseyside Derby.
Always that edge.
Ale?
No, go to Frank. Let's see what Frank.
Oh, okay. Ale, I mean Frank.
Yeah, I have to agree with Stevie. Even if Everton haven't been competed with Liverpool at the same level, but it's true that during the derby, something special comes up, and we remember the last game at the Everton Stadium. Sorry, I forgot the name. Was simply yes, Goodison Park. Thank you. Was absolutely history. I mean, the last goal of the last game in the last second, I mean, that was crazy. So it's always brings something special. Will it be different with the new stadium? We'll see. But right now, yeah, I agree with Stevie. I start with the Merseyside Derby, the North London Derby, definitely. The Manchester Derby is not a derby. I mean, I think City and Manchester United, they like to have a derby with Liverpool, not against each other.
Yeah, no, I agree. And the thing that I agree with the most is Manchester Derby being dropped. I don't think there's any doubt about that. And Stevie mentioned it in the show, while we focus on the shortcomings of Manchester United, and there are many of them, Manchester City, they still have their issues.
Yeah.
They just happen to have a couple of players in key positions. In the case of Haaland today, or Doku, I thought Foden was good today as well. But on the whole, besides the result, besides the score, which I think is important, and you move on from that and you build on from that if you're Pep Guardiola, I just don't see that what we saw today from Manchester City is good enough to be contending near the top of the Premier League.
All right, another Start Bench Drop. These 3 stunning goals from the weekend, and it's true we have seen some. Zubimendi against Forest, Ajic against Inter, and Fermin Lopez against Valencia. That one coming from today. He scored 2, so I'm assuming the second one, which was a real stunner.
Well, I got an issue with a couple of the goals that are there. Zubimendi's volley was fantastic, but I think it takes a deflection that helps it on and takes it away from the goalkeeper. And so I love the technique, love the contact, love how hard he was able to hit it and how he was able to keep it down. But there's a deflection. And in the case of the goal by Fermin Lopez, while he hits it well, the goalkeeper is there, Aguirre Zabala, and probably should have made the save. So I don't think the Fermin Lopez goal was as great as we're making it out to be, and if Zubimendi's goal took a deflection as I think it did, then I shouldn't be on the list either, as great of contact as it was.
Is someone not been getting some stick as well about the last goal?
What's that?
Ajic is the goal from Juventus, right?
Yes.
I've heard other commentators and analysts criticising Sommer in goal for the strike.
Yes, correct. So, no, I hear
Okay,
you.
so none of these are making our top 10 goals tomorrow then, basically.
Well, what I'm saying
Well,
is
there's question marks over them all.
yes, correct. In fact, if I'm going to take a goal from that game in the Juventus-Inter game, I'm going to take Çalhanoğlu's goal,
Yes.
the one where he pops it up with his chest and on the turn hits it to the far post.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, to your point, Stevie, yes, question marks around all 3 of these goals.
Frank, you two have question marks on all of these goals?
Yeah, you know, I don't see why Bacola is not there. You know, he scored 2 beautiful goals
here
and
we
much better,
go.
no deflection. And Paris is magic. Whatever. Coming from Marseille captain. No, but I didn't see the Adic goal, and I agree with for Zubimendi, it's a deflection. Fermin, I think is he a right-footed, Fermin Lopez?
Yes, he's right-footed.
So it's a long shot from with his left foot. That's quite something. I like it.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah,
So
I
we'll
think
just give
Fermin wins
Fermin
it,
the.
All right.
Fermin wins it.
Okay.
Fermin wins it?
We're starting with
Good point, Frank.
Fermin, and then beyond that, good luck and God bless.
Yeah.
Good luck and God bless. All right. Well, good luck and God bless to everyone. Thank you for tuning into this edition of Extra Time. We will be back tomorrow with plenty more ESPN FC. Make sure to join us then.